I want you to stop everything for a moment and be honest with yourself. How many times have you poured your energy into what other people think of you instead of what you think of yourself? How many times have you chased validation, approval, likes, or applause, only to feel empty, unfulfilled, and stuck? Listen carefully. The life you are living right now with distractions streaming for your attention, with every moment wasted on chasing someone else's expectations, it is not your life. It belongs to the noise, the chaos, the people who have no vision for greatness. And the moment you realize that, the moment you decide that your focus, your energy, and your power belong to you and you alone, is the moment everything changes. You are capable of more than you allowed yourself to believe. You've been settling for comfort, for excuses, for temporary highs that lead nowhere. You've been following the crowd, listening to the wrong voices, and allowing distractions to steal your time, your energy, and your potential. But right now, you are about to step into something different. Right now, you are about to understand that the path to true power, success, and unstoppable momentum does not come from validation. It does not come from noise. It comes from silence, from focus, from discipline, and from a relentless commitment to yourself that no one can break. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to be unstoppable, to move through life without being distracted by the opinions of others, to grind, to build, to grow while the world sleeps, to endure, to sacrifice, and to push yourself when no one is watching. That is not a dream. That is a choice. That is a reality for the person who is willing to focus on themselves, to master their mind, to sharpen their discipline, and to act relentlessly toward their vision. The question is, are you willing to make that choice? Are you ready to silence the noise, ignore the distractions, and step into a level of power and focus you've never experienced before? This is not for the average. This is not for the person who wants comfort, approval, or shortcuts. This is for those who are ready to endure, to sacrifice, to work in silence, and to emerge stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. The path is not easy. It is not glamorous. It will test you. It will challenge you. It will push you to your limits. But the truth is, nothing worth achieving comes easy. And the only person standing between you and the life you desire is the version of yourself that is unwilling to fight, focus, and stay silent while building what truly matters. So lean in, lock your mind in, clear your distractions. This next journey is about taking everything you have ignored, everything you've doubted, everything you feared, and turning it into the fuel that will make you unstoppable. By the end of this, you will not be the same person who started watching. Your mindset will shift, your focus will sharpen, and your vision will ignite. If you are ready, then pay attention, because everything you need to change your life starts right now. Focus on yourself, stay silent, and watch the impossible become inevitable. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is the birthplace of it. In a world that never stops talking, where notifications, opinions, and judgments fly at you from every angle, the ability to sit quietly, to hold your tongue, and to focus inward is a strength few ever cultivate. Most people spend their days chasing attention, reacting to everything around them, speaking to prove they exist, and validating themselves through others' recognition. But here's the truth. When you are silent, you are not weak. You are preparing. When you are silent, you are observing, calculating, sharpening your mind while everyone else is distracted. There is a tremendous energy and stillness that is invisible to those who are always performing, always explaining, always trying to justify their existence. You must understand that silence is not passive. It is active, intentional, and strategic, and allows you to conserve your energy, to store it, to channel it into action rather than empty words. Too often, people confuse talking with progress. They think that if they announce their goals, share their dreams, or justify their efforts, they are moving forward. But the loudest people in the room are not always the most productive. The person who is truly growing is often quiet. They are in the lab of life, experimenting, failing, learning, adjusting, and preparing for the moment when their results speak for themselves. Silence becomes your superpower because it gives you the ability to listen, to hear what others miss. It allows you to see opportunities that the distracted mind cannot see. When you quiet the noise around you, you begin to notice patterns, understand truths, and recognize openings that will move you faster towards your vision. Silence trains patience, and patience is a currency of those who achieve greatness. Moreover, silence shields you from unnecessary conflict, from the draining energy of debates, arguments, and petty judgments. When you speak at the wrong time, when you react impulsively, you give away pieces of your power. You lose focus. Your energy is dispersed into things that will never add to your growth, things that will not multiply your life. But when you choose silence, you choose to protect your power. You choose to protect your vision. You choose to invest your energy in the work that matters, not improving a point or winning someone else's approval. Every word spoken in haste is an energy leak. Every unnecessary explanation is a distraction from your purpose. Learning, stay silent, is learning to conserve your power for the battles that actually matter, for the moments when your effort will yield results that no one can argue with. There is also a psychological element to silence that many underestimate. People underestimate the effect of quiet confidence. When you are silent, you are not dependent on others' perception of you. You are not constantly seeking validation. You don't need to announce your moves or explain your intentions. Your presence alone becomes a statement. There is a magnetic quality to someone who does not feel the need to perform for approval, someone whose energy is focused inward, someone who is building, preparing, and growing while the rest of the world is distracted. Silence makes you mysterious. It forces people to measure you by your results, not by your promises. And results, my friend, are louder than words could ever be. But silence is not easy. The world will test you constantly. People will ask why you aren't talking, why you aren't sharing, why you aren't proving yourself. Friends, family, colleagues, they will pressure you to explain yourself, to justify your choices. They will try to pull you into their drama, their opinions, their agendas. This is where discipline comes in. Silence is a skill that requires mastery over your impulses, mastery over your ego. It requires understanding that your life, your goals, your growth are not open for debate. Your progress is sacred. And if you give in to the need to constantly explain yourself, to constantly defend yourself, you will dilute your energy, weaken your focus, and sabotage your own potential. Silence demands courage. It demands resilience. It demands that you trust yourself more than the approval of the crowd. When you embrace silence as your superpower, you unlock a different level of focus. You are no longer distracted by every comment, every opinion, every noise around you. You are in your zone. You can think clearly, plan aggressively, and act strategically. Your mind becomes a weapon, a precision tool designed to cut through obstacles instead of chatter. You become immune to the distractions that derail average people. You begin to live life on your terms, guided by your own principles and your own vision. Every decision becomes intentional. Every action becomes powerful, and every step moves you closer to the life you are building. Silence is no longer absence. It becomes presence, awareness, and dominance. The greatest achievers in history understood this. They understood that words are cheap, but results are priceless. They understood that the less they talk, the more they observe, the more they calculate, the stronger they become. They knew that a loud world values noise over wisdom, but those who choose silence tap into an energy that cannot be measured or replicated. Silence gives you clarity. It gives you power. It gives you power. It gives you patience to endure the process while others are distracted, impatient, and reactive. And one day, when your work, your results, your vision manifest into reality, the same world that demanded you explain yourself will have no choice but to acknowledge your greatness, not because you shouted it, but because silence prepared you to achieve it. So understand this. Silence is not emptiness. It is full of potential. It is not weakness. It is strength. It is not absence. It is preparation. It is the hidden weapon of the focus, the discipline, the relentless. If you want to win in life, if you want to move faster than the crowd, if you want to build an unshakable foundation for your future, you must embrace silence. You must respect it. You must wield it like the superpower it is. Speak less, work more, observe everything, protect your energy, trust the process, and watch as your results, your power, and your transformation speak louder than any words ever could. Silence is your superpower. Learn it, live it, protect it. And one day the world will see it, not in your words, but in your unstoppable life. The world is loud. It never stops. There is always someone telling you what you should do, what you can do, what you can't do, what's possible and what's impossible. There is always a feed to scroll, a notification to check, a conversation to overhear, a comment to react to. And if you are not careful, all of that noise will steal your focus, drain your energy, and keep you stuck where you are. Protecting your energy is the single most important thing you can do if you are serious about growth. Energy is life. Energy is movement. Energy is what separates those who talk about their dreams from those who actually achieve them. When you allow toxic voices, distractions, and unnecessary noise into your life, you are allowing your focus to fracture. You are giving pieces of your power away to things that do not serve your purpose. If you want to win, you must learn to cut the noise and guard your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Cutting the noise. It's not just about mute notifications or staying off social media. It is about learning to filter your environment and the people in it. It is about recognizing that some conversations are designed to pull you backward, that some relationships are draining, that some voices are not giving guidance. They are giving judgment. Too many people spend their time explaining themselves, defending themselves, or justifying their dreams to others who do not understand their journey. That is wasted energy. That is wasted energy. Every ounce of mental, emotional, and physical energy you give to people or situations that do not add to your growth is energy that could have been invested in becoming unstoppable. You cannot afford to scatter your focus. You cannot afford to give your power to those who will never understand. If the world will always be noisy, but if you are smart, you will learn to protect the quiet spaces that allow you to build, to grow, and to transform. Energy is finite. You have a limited amount of it every day, every week, every month. And how you use it determines whether you progress or plateau. When you surround yourself with distractions, when you listen to the wrong people, when you react impulsively to social media, gossip, or negativity, you are draining your energy without even realizing it. That is why cutting the noise is a strategy, a discipline, and a mindset. It is about creating a space where your mind can focus, where your emotions are not constantly hijacked, and where your actions are intentional. It is about building a life where your attention is invested in the things that matter, your craft, your goals, your vision, your growth. Anything outside of that is secondary, and often it is a threat to your progress. People will try to pull you into their drama. They will try to make you react, make you feel small, make you question yourself. They will criticize your moves, dismiss your vision, and try to drag you into debates that accomplish nothing. If you engage, you lose. If you fight, you drain your energy. But if you cut the noise, if you step back, if you stay silent, you maintain your power. You conserve your energy for what matters. You protect your mind from unnecessary stress. You preserve your focus for the work that will actually change your life. Every time you choose silence over reaction, every time you choose focus over validation, every time you choose focus over validation, you are winning. Not just winning, but building a foundation for the unstoppable future that no one else can touch. Cutting the noise also requires boundaries. You must decide what is acceptable in your life and what is not. You must destine God who deserves access to your energy and who does not. And this is where most people fail. They let everyone in. They let everything in. And then they wonder why they feel drained, distracted, and stuck. You are not responsible for pleasing everyone, for explaining your choices, or for validating your dreams to anyone. Your responsibility is to anyone. Your responsibility is to yourself, to your vision, to your growth. If someone cannot respect your boundaries, if someone cannot serve your purpose, it has no place in your life. Energy is sacred, and boundaries are the armor you wear to protect it. The stronger your boundaries, the more unstoppable you become. Noise is not just external. It is internal too. Doubt, fear, overthinking, regret, and worry are forms of internal noise. Protecting your energy means cutting these inner distractions as well. It means developing a mindset that refuses to dwell on what cannot help you move forward. It means refusing to give power to negative self-talk or limiting beliefs. Every moment you spend obsessing over what others think, every second you waste on worry, every thought that distracts you from your purpose is energy stolen from your potential. Mastering this internal discipline is just as important as mastering your external environment. Cut the noise inside, cut the noise outside, and watch as your energy becomes a weapon that propels you faster than anyone else. There is a reason the most successful people in the world live by this principle. They protect their time, their attention, their energy. They understand that focus is the ultimate currency in a distracted world. They do not allow drama, gossip, negativity, or unnecessary opinions to dilute their efforts. They know that energy is everything. Without it, you cannot execute. Without it, you cannot persevere. Without it, you cannot overcome the obstacles that life will inevitably throw at you. Cut it. The noise is not selfish. It is strategic. It is the practice of the discipline, the focus, the relentless. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. To cut the noise, you must be intentional. You must audit your life, your relationships, your habits, and your mental space. You must ask yourself every day, what deserves my attention? What deserves my energy? What deserves my energy? What serves my growth, my vision, my future? And then you must act. Say no to distractions. Step away from toxic environments. Mute the voices that do not lift you. Protect your focus like a lion. Protect it to territory. The world will try to distract you, but if you are disciplined, if you are intentional, if you are relentless, you will not fall for it. Your energy is yours to command, and you must command it with ferocity. When you cut the noise and protect your energy, you create the space to do the work that truly matters. You have the focus to train harder, learn faster, and execute smarter. You have the clarity to see opportunities that others miss. You have the patience to endure setbacks without losing momentum. You have the resilience to stay disciplined when the world tries to pull you off course. And when your results begin to show, when your life begins to transform, everyone will notice, but they won't understand the silence that made it possible. They will see only the victory, but you will know the truth. It was your ability to cut the noise and protect your energy that allowed you to rise above the chaos and become unstoppable. So remember, your energy is sacred. The noise is endless, but your focus is priceless. Protect it, guard it, defend it. Every message you don't respond to, every comment you ignore, every distraction you eliminate is a deposit into the account of your greatness. Cut the noise, protect your energy, focus on yourself. And when the world finally sees your success, it will be too late for them to catch up. You will be operating on a different level, powered by a focus and energy that no one else can touch, built in a quiet, relentless pursuit of your own greatness. Your energy is your power. Cut the noise, protect it, and unleash the unstoppable you. The most powerful battles you will ever face are not outside as you will ever face, are not outside of you. They are inside. Every day, your mind is under attack, bombarded by doubts, fears, insecurities, and distractions. The world wants you reactive, unsettled, and dependent on outside validation. But the ones who win, the ones who break through, the ones who rise above the noise, understand a simple truth. Before you can conquer the world, you must conquer yourself. Mastering your inner world is not about escaping reality. It's about taking full control over your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions so that you can operate at your highest level, no matter what life throws at you. It is about becoming the commander of your own mind, the ruler of your own destiny, and the architect of your own success. Until you do that, you are at the mercy of every distraction, every criticism, and every circumstance that comes your way. Your inner world determines the quality of your life. If your mind is chaotic, your actions will be chaotic. If your thoughts are dominated by fear, doubt, and uncertainty, your results will reflect that. You cannot hope to grow, to win, to excel if you are constantly sabotaging yourself from the inside. Every negative thought is a brick in the wall that separates you from your potential. Every unproductive emotion is a chain that holds you back from the life you deserve. That is why mastering your inner world is not optional. It is essential. The world will try to manipulate you with noise, distraction, and pressure. But if your inner world is strong, unshakable, and disciplined, nothing external can control you. You become untouchable, unstoppable, and undeniable. Mastering your inner world begins with awareness. You must observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your patterns without judgment. Most people live unconsciously, reacting to every stimulus, every trigger, and every emotion as though they're powerless. But you are not powerless. You have the ability to choose your response. You have the ability to redirect your focus. You have the ability to choose courage over fear, discipline over temptation, and action over procrastination. Awareness is the first step because you cannot control what you do not recognize. Once you see the patterns that are keeping you stuck, once you recognize the thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back, you can begin to change them. Next comes ownership. You must take full responsibility for your inner state. No one else is in control of your mind. Your environment, your circumstances, and other people can influence you, but they do not control you. You decide how to interpret events, how to respond to challenges, and how to think about yourself. This is where true power lies, in taking ownership of your inner dialogue and refusing to let external factors dictate your behavior. When you take ownership, you stop blaming others for your failures and start focusing on what you can control. You stop reacting and start acting with intention. You stop being a victim and start being a victim. Mastery of your inner world begins the moment you stop giving away your power and start commanding your mind. Discipline is the next pillar. Your inner world cannot be mastered without structure. Thoughts must be trained, emotions must be guided, and habits must be engineered. Discipline is what transforms awareness and ownership into action. It is what allows you to focus when distractions scream for attention. It is what allows you to act decisively when fear wants to freeze you. Your inner world is like a garden. If you leave it untended, weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity will grow uncontrollably. But if you cultivate it daily with discipline, nurturing positive thoughts, reinforcing empowering beliefs, and pruning destructive patterns, your inner garden will flourish. Discipline turns chaos into clarity and transforms your mind into a weapon capable of cutting through any obstacle. Emotional intelligence is another critical component. Mastering your inner world means understanding your emotions, not suppressing them. It means recognizing what you feel, why you feel it, and how to respond without being controlled by it. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They react impulsively and make decisions in anger or fear and sabotage their own progress. But when you master your inner world, you harness your inner world. You harness your emotions instead of being controlled by them. You turn fear into fuel, anger into motivation, and doubt into determination. You understand that emotions are signals, not dictators. You learn to respond instead of react. You learn to act from strength instead of weakness. This is the kind of control that allows you to remain calm, focused, and relentless when others crumble under pressure. Visualization and mindset play a huge role as well. Your inner world is the birthplace of every achievement. Before anything external can manifest, it must first exist inside your mind. The most successful people in history are those who saw the outcome, felt it, and believed it before it became reality. When you master your inner world, you develop the ability to visualize your goals, to rehearse your victories, and to program your mind for success. You align your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward a single vision, and nothing can stop you. Doubt may try to whisper, distractions may try to scream, but a job fight to your inner conviction becomes unshakable. What you see inside, you can create outside. Mastery of your inner world is mastery over reality itself. The challenges will be relentless. Life will throw obstacles, setbacks, criticism, and failure in your path. But if you have mastered your inner world, none of it can defeat you. External chaos becomes irrelevant because your mind has already been fortified. You operate from a position of strength, clarity, and focus. You are no longer reactive. You are strategic. You are no longer distracted. You are intentional. You are no longer weak. You are resilient, disciplined, and unstoppable. The inner fortress you build through mastery allows you to withstand storms that would destroy the unprepared. It gives you the patience to endure, the courage to act, and the resilience to rise after every fall. Finally, mastering your inner world is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifelong practice. Every day presents new challenges, new distractions, and new opportunities to lose focus. Every day requires awareness, ownership, discipline, emotional intelligence, and visualization. But with consistent effort, your inner world becomes a source of limitless power. You become untouchable by criticism, unshakable in adversity, and unrelenting in pursuit of your goals. Your results will reflect the strength of your inner world, and your life will become a testament to the power of mastering what is inside, rather than constantly reacting to what is outside. Understand this. Mastery of your inner world is not just a skill. It is a lifestyle. It is the foundation upon which every victory, every achievement, and every transformation is built. Until you control what's inside, the outside will always control you. Take command of your mind, shape your thoughts, direct your emotions, reinforce your beliefs, train your focus, protect your energy. This is what lies your victories. Respond with discipline, and slowly, relentlessly, your inner power will translate into unstoppable external success. Your life will change, not because circumstances change, but because you master the one thing that truly matters, yourself. When you master your inner world, nothing can stop you, nothing can shake you, nothing can divert your focus. You become a force of nature, a person who moves with intention, acts with power, and achieves at levels most only dream about. The battlefield of your mind is where the war is won, dominated, and the world outside has no choice but to follow your lead. The world glorifies noise, attention, and immediate recognition, but the truth is, the most powerful work happens in silence, unseen, and uncelebrated by anyone but yourself. When you are building, grinding, and pushing toward your vision, the loudest voices are often distractions. They want to see you post, announce, explain, and justify. They want to see every step of your journey because it makes them feel safe in their own inaction. But real greatness is not performed for applause. It is earned in the quiet, in the moments when no one is watching, when failure feels lonely, when effort is invisible, and sacrifice goes unnoticed. Working in the shadows is about creating results while the world sleeps, and letting those results speak louder than any words ever could. The loudest success is the one that arrives without warning, the one that silences doubters instantly, the one that proves your work without a single explanation. Most people live their lives desperate for validation. They need likes, comments, approval, and attention to feel alive. They want recognition. They feel alive. They want recognition before they even start the work. But if you operate that way, your energy is divided, your focus is fractured, and your results are limited. Real power is in doing the work for the word. Excel in prioritizing growth over applause, effort over attention, and action over explanation, and action over explanation. The shadows are where transformation happens. It is where you push past the limits of your body, your mind, and your spirit without anyone knowing. It is where you grind when everyone else is celebrating, where you train when everyone else is distracted, and where you perfect your craft while the crowd chases noise. The shadows are the laboratory of champions. And if you are willing to embrace them, you will emerge untouchable. There is a strategic advantage to working in the shadows that most people never understand. When your efforts are quiet, your opponents cannot predict your moves. When no one sees your progress, no one can criticize, sabotage, or discourage you. When your work is invisible, you are free to experiment, fail, learn, and adapt without the pressure of an audience or the weight of expectation. Most people fear being unseen. They crave attention. They crave approval. But you must learn to thrive in solitude and silence, because in the shadows, your focus sharpens. In the shadows, your discipline strengthens. In the shadows, your resilience grows. And when your moment finally arrives, when your results emerge, they will arrive with force, clarity, and authority. No excuses, no explanations, no debate, just undeniable proof. This is why patience is critical. The world moves on distractions, instant gratification, and the illusion of productivity. But when you work in the shadows, you are playing the long game. You understand that building something of true value takes time, dedication, and a willingness to endure isolation and hard work without immediate recognition. You embrace the discomfort of unseen effort because you know that excellence cannot be rushed and results that last cannot be manufactured for a moment of applause. Every rep, every late night, every sacrifice is a deposit in the bank of your future. the world may not notice today, but when your work surfaces, the impact will be explosive and undeniable. You are not in a race for attention. You are in a race for attention. You are in a race for greatness. And that race is run in the shadows. There is also a psychological dimension to this principle. When you work in the shadows, you protect your energy from unnecessary scrutiny, judgment, and comparison. You free yourself from the burden of proving yourself to everyone around you. You remove the need to perform for an audience that will never understand your vision. Most people sabotage themselves because they constantly seek approval. They change their pace, their strategy, and their ambition based on what others think. But when you work quietly, you remove that external influence. You make decisions based on purpose, not perception. You act from strategy, not ego. You train your mind to value results over applause, effort over recognition, and progress over validation. This is the mindset that separates the average from the extraordinary. Failure in the shadows is also a powerful teacher. When no one is watching, you are free to fail, to stumble, and to learn without fear of ridicule. You are free to take risks, to push boundaries, and to innovate without the pressure of public scrutiny. The shadows provide safety for experimentation and growth. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes fuel. And every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your craft. The most successful people embrace the shadows because they know that hidden effort allows for fearless growth. They understand that no one is watching, so they are free to build resilience, creativity, and mastery that the crowd will never anticipate. Working in the shadows also builds character. It teaches humility, patience, and endurance. It forces you to rely on your internal motivation instead of external rewards. It creates a discipline that cannot be shaken by criticism, praise, or the highs and lows of public opinion. You become self-reliant. You become internally driven. You develop a relentless work ethic that is impervious to distraction. And when your success finally emerges, it is not a fluke or a product of luck. It is the inevitable result of quiet, consistent, focused effort executed with precision while the world slept, doubted, and overlooked your grind. The results speak louder than words. When you emerge from the shadows, your achievements are undeniable. The people who doubted you, criticized you, and underestimated you are forced to recognize your power. No explanation is needed. No justification is necessary. Your results do all the talking, and there is a special satisfaction in knowing that your transformation occurred silently, without applause, without attention, and without shortcuts. The shadows become a source of strength, a place of preparation, and a foundation for unstoppable momentum. To embrace this principle, you must cultivate patience, discipline, and resilience. You must learn to value the process over the recognition, the craft over the applause, and the results over the noise. You must be willing to sacrifice temporary validation for long-term greatness. You must commit to showing up, grinding, and building when no one is watching, trusting that your effort will pay off in a way that is powerful, undeniable, and life-changing. The shadows are where champions are forged. The shadows are where legends are built. The shadows are where your future self will thank you for your relentless, unseen effort. So stop performing for the world. Stop seeking validation for every step. Stop explaining yourself, posting updates, or trying to convince people of your progress. Go to work quietly, focus relentless, lie, and put in the effort that most people are unwilling to give. Let your results speak for themselves. Let your success be the loudest voice in the room. Work in the shadows, grind in silence. And when the world finally sees what you have built, they will have no choice but to respect your power, your discipline, and your unshakable focus. Work in the shadows. Let your success speak and become unstoppable. Discipline over validation is the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who spend their lives chasing approval. Most people are addicted to validation. They need likes, compliments, recognition, praise, or reassurance before they feel motivated or worthy. They live their lives at the mercy of others' opinions, letting judgment, criticism, or admiration dictate their energy, focus, and decisions. But discipline is internal. Discipline does not require an audience. Discipline does not ask for applause. Discipline is self-imposed. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, the engine that runs quietly while the world debates your worth. If you want to win in life, You must prioritize discipline over validation. You must be willing to work, grind, sacrifice, and endure without the guarantee of recognition or the reward of approval. The truth is, validation is fleeting. It is a temporary high, an empty dopamine hit, a momentary acknowledgement that vanishes faster than it appears. When your motivation is tied to validation, it is inconsistent. You rise when praised and you crumble when criticized. You move when watched and you stall when ignored. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It is reliable. It is unshakable. Discipline allows you to act even when no one is looking, to persist even when the world doubts you, and to grind even when the applause never comes. It is the silent commitment to yourself, to your goals, and to your vision. Discipline gives you freedom from the chains of approval, the burden of opinion, and the trap of seeking others' recognition. Most people fail because they confuse hard work with popularity. They believe that if everyone notices, then it matters. They believe that recognition equals progress. But that is a lie. The people who are truly building, the people who are truly transforming, do not do it for the spotlight. They do it for the results. They do it for the impact. They do it for themselves. Discipline teaches you to value the process over applause. It teaches you to act according to your purpose, not the expectations of others. It teaches you to prioritize long-term success over short-term gratification. And when you live this way, validation becomes irrelevant because your focus is on growth, on mastery, on the results that no one can take away. Discipline is not easy. It requires resisting the urge to conform, to seek approval, and to react to external pressures. It requires saying no when everyone else says yes, staying silent when everyone else wants attention, and working tirelessly when others are distracted. Discipline is the refusal to be manipulated by society's constant need for recognition. It is the ability to control your impulses, regulate your emotions, and maintain focus on the work that matters most. Every time you choose discipline over validation, you are reinforcing your internal power, strengthening your mental fortitude, and building resilience that will carry you through the toughest moments of life. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its ability to create momentum. When you act from discipline instead of validation, your energy is focused, your effort is consistent, and your results compound. Validation-driven actions are scattered, reactive, and inconsistent because they depend on someone else's approval. Discipline-driven actions are intentional, proactive, and relentless because they come from within. When you master this, you stop being a slave to the highs and lows of external feedback. You no longer need a pat on the back or a compliment to keep moving forward. You become unstoppable because your drive comes from purpose, not applause. Discipline also shields you from distraction. When the world is full of noise, criticism, and opinion, it is easy to get lost in comparison. People will judge, doubt, and question your path. And if you are seeking validation, you will bend to their standards. Discipline frees you from that trap and allows you to stay focused on your vision, to prioritize your work, and to execute your plan without being derailed by others' expectations. It trains your mind to value consistency over attention, substance over style, and results over recognition. This kind of mental armor is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who remain average, constantly chasing approval but never reaching their potential. Moreover, discipline over validation builds character. It forces you to rely on yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to take responsibility for your actions. When you are validation driven, your sense of self-worth fluctuates with others' opinions. When you are discipline driven, your sense of self-worth is stable because it is grounded in your commitment to growth, your consistency and effort, and your dedication to your goals. You learn patience, persistence, and resilience. You learn to endure hardship without needing sympathy or recognition. You learn that your value is not determined by what others say, but by what you do and who you are becoming. The greatest achievers in history understood this principle. They did not wait for approval to start. They did not need recognition to persist. They did not rely on applause to continue grinding. They acted with discipline because they had a vision, a purpose, and an unshakable commitment to themselves. They embraced discomfort, sacrifice, and solitude because they understood that temporary pain and unseen effort would yield permanent results. Their focus was internal, not external. Their drive was fueled by purpose, not praise. And that is why their results were inevitable. To live by this principle, you must first recognize where you are seeking validation and why you are seeking validation and why. You must examine the areas of your life where approval dictates your actions and replace it with disciplined behavior. You must commit to doing what is hard, uncomfortable, and unseen without needing anyone else to notice. You must embrace delayed gratification, prioritize long-term gains, and resist the temptation to measure your worth by temporary applause. You must develop the mindset that what matters most is not who is watching, but what you are building, becoming, and achieving. When you put discipline over validation, your life transforms. You become more focused, more resilient, more unstoppable. Your energy is no longer scattered on people, opinions, or distractions that do not serve your growth. You are free to pursue your vision relentlessly. You are free to act decisively. You are free to build without apology or explanation. You develop a mental toughness that cannot be shaken by criticism, envy, or doubt. And when your results finally manifest, they will speak louder than any validation ever could, proving to yourself and the world that discipline always beats the need for approval. Discipline over validation is not just a principle, it is a lifestyle. It is the foundation upon which achievement, success, and greatness are built. If you can internalize this, if you can live it daily, you will become unstoppable. You will rise above distraction, doubt, and judgment. You will achieve results that others only dream of because your motivation comes from within, not from the fleeting opinions of those around you. Your focus, your consistency, and your relentless action will become your greatest power. And the world will have no choice but to recognize what you have built, not because you demanded it, but because you demanded it, but because your results demand it. Discipline over validation is the key to freedom, power, and unstoppable success. Choose discipline, ignore the applause, work for yourself, build your life relentlessly, and let your results speak for everything. Solitude is often misunderstood. Most people fear it, running from it, filling it with noise, entertainment, distractions, and social interactions because they cannot sit with themselves, cannot face their own thoughts, and cannot confront the emptiness that reveals the truth about their effort, their purpose, and their potential. But solitude is not loneliness. It is the crucible of growth, the laboratory where champions are forged, the place where your strength, resilience, and focus are tested, refined, and built. If you are serious about becoming unstoppable, you must embrace solitude. You must willingly step away from the crowd, the noise, the opinions, and the constant distraction of the world. You must be willing to face yourself, your fears, and your weaknesses in the quiet, knowing that the work you do in solitude is the work that will prepare you for the battles of life. In solitude, you discover your true self. When the world is gone, when the noise is silenced, when opinions and judgments disappear, you are left with yourself, your mind, your discipline, your ambition, and your potential. It is here that you see who you really are, who you really want to become, and what it will take to get there. Most people are terrified of this confrontation because it is brutally honest. There is no one to impress, no one to impress, no one to validate you, no one to distract you from the truth. And the truth is often uncomfortable. It shows you your weaknesses, your distractions, your excuses, and your limitations. But it also shows you your power, your potential, and the strength that lies dormant within you. Solitude strips away the illusions, the pretenses, and the external crutches, leaving only raw clarity and the opportunity to grow stronger. Embracing solitude is how you develop mental toughness. Life will test you, challenge you, and throw obstacles in your path, often when no one is watching. Often when it seems like you are alone. Solitude teaches you to endure discomfort without external support, to fight without a crowd cheering you on, and to persist even when no one notices your effort. It trains your mind to remain focused, disciplined, and relentless when the world is indifferent to your struggle. The stronger you become in solitude, the less you depend on external validation, approval, or attention. You learn to rely on yourself, trust your preparation, and execute your plan regardless of circumstances. This is the kind of inner strength that cannot be broken, manipulated, or distracted by the chaos of life. Solitude also enhances creativity and clarity. When the mind is quiet, when external noise is eliminated, you begin to see possibilities, strategies, and opportunities that others cannot perceive. Ideas are born in silence. Solutions emerge when the mind is focused and uninterrupted. Most people are too distracted, too busy, too reactive to recognize the potential of stillness. But those who embrace solitude tap into a power few ever experience: the ability to think deeply, plan strategically, and execute decisively. In solitude, you can connect the dots that the crowd misses, see paths that others ignore, and prepare moves that will leave the world behind. Silence is not empty. It is fertile ground for genius, strategy, and unstoppable growth. Moreover, solitude strengthens discipline and self-mastery. When no one is watching, there is no accountability other than the one you create for yourself. This is where true discipline is forged. When you show up, grind, practice, and sacrifice without any reward, recognition, or approval. It is easy to perform when others are watching, when praise is guaranteed, when applause is expected. The real test is in the quiet, in the unseen hours, in the effort that feels thankless and invisible. Solitude forces you to rely on your inner drive, to motivate yourself, and to push beyond the limits of comfort without external pressure. It is in these moments that mental toughness, resilience, and character are built. Embracing solitude also teaches patience. Most people want immediate results, instant gratification and recognition. They are uncomfortable with waiting, with working, with growing without notice. Solitude trains you to endure the process, to embrace the journey, and to trust that your consistent, focused effort will compound over time. It teaches you that greatness is built slowly in moments of effort that no one else sees, and that the reward comes not from applause, but from the transformation of yourself into someone capable of achieving it. Patience born in solitude is unshakable, unrelenting, and unstoppable. Another critical aspect of solitude is self-reflection. When you are alone, you can evaluate your choices, your actions, and your progress honestly. You can identify mistakes, learn from them, and adjust without ego or external influence. You can set higher standards for yourself and hold yourself accountable in ways that no one else can. Self-reflection in solitude sharpens your mind, clarifies your vision, and strengthens your resolve. Most people never achieve this because they are too busy seeking approval, chasing attention, or distracting themselves from their own shortcomings. But those who embrace solitude use it as a tool to grow exponentially, prepare themselves for challenges and opportunities that the world cannot anticipate. Solitude also builds emotional resilience. Life will inevitably isolate you, test you, and challenge you when no one is around to support you. By embracing voluntary solitude, you train your mind to remain calm, focused, and unshaken in adversity. You learn to find strength in yourself, to cultivate inner peace amidst chaos, and to persevere regardless of external circumstances. Emotional resilience developed in solitude is permanent because it comes from the deepest understanding of your own capacity, your own power, and your own potential. Finally, embracing solitude allows you to become unstoppable. When you can operate effectively, relentlessly, and strategically in the absence of applause, attention, or validation, you unlock a level of power most people will never experience. You develop independence, focus, and mastery over your life. You learn to trust yourself, rely on your preparation, and act decisively without waiting for the world to approve. The stronger you become in solitude, the more unstoppable you become in solitude, the more unstoppable you become in action. Your results, your growth, and your transformation will speak for themselves, and the world will have no choice but to recognize the power that was quietly built, unseen and relentless. Embrace solitude. Step away from distraction. Sit with yourself. Face your fears. Confront your weaknesses. Develop mental toughness, clarity, discipline, patience, and emotional resilience. Train when no one is watching. Grind in silence. Plan strategically. Reflect honestly. Grow relentlessly. Because it is in solitude that your true strength is forged. And it is from this inner power that your unstoppable life will emerge. Transformation is not immediate, and it is never easy. Growth, strength, and mastery are earned through struggle, discipline, and relentless commitment. And the journey often isolates you from the world, from approval, and from recognition. The person who chooses the path of focus, silence, and self-mastery will emerge changed, stronger, sharper, and more capable than ever before. But the real power is in what happens after the transformation. To return transformed and unstoppable means to take all of the hard work, all of the discipline, all of the lessons learned in silence, and to unleash them into your life with precision, purpose, and relentless energy. It is the moment when your inner work manifests externally, when your preparation meets opportunity, and when the world can no longer ignore what you have become. The journey alone is powerful, but the journey is where greatness becomes visible and undeniable. To return transformed, you must understand the value of the process. Every hour spent grinding, every day spent training, every moment spent enduring discomfort and rejection was preparing you for this moment. Transformation is cumulative. It builds silently, invisibly, and relentlessly until it reaches a critical point where the results cannot be hidden any longer. Those who do not embrace the process will never experience the return. They will remain scattered, distracted, and dependent on external validation. But those who commit fully, who endure in solitude, who prioritize discipline over applause, emerge like a storm, unexploitable and unstoppable. Returning transformed is not just about achieving results. It is about embodying the person who can sustain those results under pressure, scrutiny, and adversity. Unstoppability comes from mastery of self. Every lesson learned in silence, every failure endured alone, every sacrifice made without recognition contributes to a foundation that cannot be shaken. When you return, you operate from strength rather than reaction, clarity rather than confusion, and confidence rather than doubt. The world may try to test you, to provoke you, to distract you, or to undermine your efforts, but the person who has been forged through discipline and solitude does not respond to chaos. They create order. They do not seek approval. They demand excellence from themselves. They do not rely on luck. They rely on preparation. Being unstoppable is not about arrogance. It is about inevitability. It is the natural outcome of relentless effort, focused discipline, and mastery of the mind, body, and spirit. Returning transformed also requires courage. It is one thing to work in silence, to endure hardship, and to build strength privately. It is another thing entirely to step back into the world, into challenges, scrutiny, and opposition, and to execute with everything you have learned. The crowd may have doubted you, your circumstances may have tested you, and life may have thrown obstacles in your path. But courage allows you to move forward anyway. To return transformed and unstoppable, you must embrace the fear, push past the hesitation, and act decisively. You must be willing to take risks, assert your power, and demonstrate your capability without seeking permission or approval. Courage is the bridge between preparation and action. It is what turns internal transformation into visible impact. Clarity is another essential element. After a period of intense focus, silence, and personal growth, you must return with a clear vision of what you want, why you want it, and how to achieve it. Transformation without direction is wasted potential. The person who returns transformed understands their purpose, prioritizes their goals, and operates with precision. They do not get caught up in trivial disputes, distractions, or opinions. They move with intention. Clarity allows them to deploy their energy strategically, execute without hesitation, and amplify the results of their prior work. Without clarity, even the strongest person can be scattered. The clarity, even a quiet, disciplined period of growth, becomes a weapon of unstoppable force. Returning transformed is also about impact. The work done in silence was not just for personal gain. It was preparation to influence, to lead, to inspire, and to achieve results that matter. When you step back into the world, your presence, your results, and your momentum will create ripples that others cannot ignore. Your transformation should elevate not only your own life, but also those around you, setting a standard of excellence, resilience, and discipline that commands respect. People will notice your results, and they will have no choice but to acknowledge the work that went into them. But you do not act for recognition. You act because your transformation demands action. Your impact is the evidence of the internal strength you cultivated while the world was unaware. Resilience is an essential companion to returning transformed. The journey of focus, silence, and discipline does not erase challenges. It prepares you to face them with unshakable strength. Life will continue to test you with setbacks, failures, and pressure, but the person who has mastered themselves in solitude has developed a resilience that is unbreakable. They do not crumble under criticism, falter under stress, or falter when circumstances are adverse. Resilience ensures that transformation is permanent and that momentum is sustained. When you return transformed and unstoppable, you are not just temporarily elevated, you are built to endure, overcome, and dominate consistently. Returning transformed. RIMD also demands humility and wisdom. Transformation can create power, but it can also create arrogance if not balanced with perspective. The person who returns unstoppable knows that their strength was earned through discipline, sacrifice, and focus, and that it is their responsibility to use that strength effectively. They understand the value of patience, the importance of preparation, and the necessity of continued growth. Humility allows them to remain teachable, adaptable, and strategic, ensuring that the transformation does not plateau, but continues to compound over time. Wisdom ensures that power is applied intentionally, purposefully, and with maximum effect. Ultimately, to return transformed and unstoppable, you must commit fully to the journey of self-mastery. You must endure silence, embrace solitude, sacrifice short-term pleasure, resist distraction, and prioritize discipline over validation. You must refine your mind, body, and spirit in the hidden hours so that when the moment arrives, you are ready. When you return, your presence, your actions, and your results will be undeniable. You will operate from strength, clarity, and purpose, and the world will be forced to acknowledge what you have become. Transformation without action is wasted potential. Returning allows the internal growth to manifest externally, making you unstoppable in pursuit of your vision. When you return transformed and unstoppable, everything changes. Obstacles become opportunities. Critics become irrelevant. Challenges become fuel. Your results speak louder than words. Your discipline becomes your reputation. Your focus becomes your power. And the person you were before the journey is unrecognizable to the person you have become. You are no longer reactive. You are decisive. You are no longer distracted. You are relentless. You are no longer average. You are extraordinary. Your transformation is visible, inevitable, and undeniable. The world cannot stop you because the world never shaped you. The work you did in silence shaped you. Return transformed, return focused, return disciplined, return relentless, return unstoppable. And let the life you build from this point forward reflect the quiet, relentless, invisible, and unstoppable work you put in to become the person you were always meant to be. Now listen closely, because this is where it all comes together. Everything we've talked about, the silence, the focus, the discipline, the solid, the focus, the discipline, the solitude, the relentless grind. It all leads to this moment. You cannot change your life while waiting for validation, attention, or applause. You cannot achieve greatness while being distracted by what everyone else is doing. The path to success, to power, to unstoppable momentum begins and ends with you. Every hour you spend in the shadows, every sacrifice you make without recognition, every step you take when no one is watching is preparing you for the life you've always dreamed of. But the truth is, preparation without action is wasted energy. You must take what you've learned, what you've built, what you've endured, and unleash it on the world with relentless focus. The world does not wait. Opportunities do not linger. Your time to act is now, and the only thing standing in your way is yourself. Think about this. Everyone around you is going to try to distract you, discourage you, or slow you down. They will question your choices, doubt your vision, and tempt you with shortcuts that promise immediate comfort but deliver long-term mediocrity. You will feel the pressure of expectations, the weight of judgment, and the sting of doubt. But here's the secret the average never understand. None of that matters if your mind is trained, your discipline is sharp, and your purpose is clear. You have everything you need inside of you already. What you do with it is what separates the dreamers from the achievers, the weak from the unstoppable. When you focus on yourself, silence the noise, and trust the work you've done in solitude, you build a force that cannot be derailed, a power that cannot be broken, and a momentum that cannot be stopped. This is your moment to commit fully, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions feel perfect. Right now, right here, the life you want, the success you deserve, the respect you crave, they are waiting on the other side of action. You must be willing to endure, to sacrifice, and to work when it feels uncomfortable, when it feels lonely, and when it feels impossible. That's the price of greatness. That's the cost of becoming someone who cannot be shaken by circumstance, opinion, or failure. You must make the choice to be relentless, to be disciplined, to be unstoppable, even when no one is watching. Because one day your results will speak so loudly that no one will question your power, your vision, or your worth. So stand up. Take ownership of your focus, your effort, and your destiny. Commit to the grind of silence. Build in the shadows. Master your mind. Strengthen your body. Train your discipline. Endure the solitude. And when you emerge, return transformed. Return unstoppable. And let your life speak for everything you've done. Let it inspire. Let it command respect. Let it show the world what relentless focus, unshakable discipline, and unwavering commitment can accomplish. You are capable of greatness, but only if you stop waiting for permission, stop chasing approval, and start working in silence relentlessly and unapologetically. The life you dream of is not out there. It is inside of you, waiting to be claimed. Now go claim it and never look back.